Now, normally it's very difficult to get excited over a tripod. It's just 3 legs and a head. It holds your camera and that's it. But nowadays, as content creators, we need weird angles, we need top-down shots, we need low angles, what have you. And most of the tripods just don't do that, even of the more expensive ones. But today, I want to talk about the Ulanzi JJ06 Glide Go tripod because I think this might be the ultimate tripod for content creators out there. So yeah, it will keep up with all those weird angles that you will need it to do and a lot more brilliant features. So yeah, let's talk about it. Now, before we begin, Ulanzi did send this tripod to me for review, but no money changed hands and my thoughts only. They don't get to see this video before you do. So yeah, let's get right onto it. So let's talk about the main feature that really impresses me. It's a center column. The center column, like many other tripods, extends upwards. But if you loosen this other knob, or this lever here, extend it upwards, turn this knob over here, it actually bends down 90 degrees. You need to remember to tighten this bit as well. Now, a lot of tripods do this, yes, I understand, but no other tripod does this. See that? It moves up and down. Now, when you're using any other tripod and you are trying to take top-down shots like this, and if you actually want to adjust the height, you have to A, adjust the feet, or you're out of luck. You actually can't adjust it easily. So on this tripod, all you have to do is to just keep your camera there, extend the center column up and down. Mighty impressive. And in addition to that, if you loosen this knob here, it actually turns. There's a dedicated panning function on the center column itself. So yeah, Ulanzi has designed this really well. Now, here's the thing. If you actually loosen every single one of them, like so, loosen this, center column here, extend the handle, you actually open yourself up to a lot of creative shots. This can actually function as a makeshift slider. Look at that. Yeah, show me any other tripod that does this. Now let's move on to another feature of this tripod. Ulanzi has their F38 system, but this one uses the newer UKA quick release system, which, to be honest, I like better than their F38 system because let me show you why. I'll just lower down this tripod. Hang on, let me grab my Pocket 3. Now, the F38 system is a sliding system where you slide in and slide out the plate. It can be quite finicky to use and it's not as quick as this. This one, all you have to do is to do that, and that's it. And to be honest, I have quite a few of them. I have one of them on the Magic Arm, I have one of them for my backpack clip and what have you. So yeah, it makes switching systems really easy. You want this on a Magic Arm, you can do it really quickly. I even have these things on some of my lights so I can clamp them on a Magic Arm and attach them anywhere. Another thing about this tripod is the head. The head, like I mentioned earlier, it's for photographers, it's for videographers. Why do I say that? Because it is both a fluid head and a ball head at the same time. The top will take care of your tilting and panning, like so. And then the bottom part here is actually a ball head. So you can do this too, really freely. Now I've seen this design on other brands as well. It's nothing new, but yeah, it's quite easy to use once you've lived with it for quite some time. I thought that this will be quite difficult to adjust, to balance out sometimes, but yeah, I guess it's quick to get used to. Another thing that doesn't make sense is that travel tripods are normally quite short. They seldom go up to eye level, but this thing is 187 centimeters. I just got myself measured at 181 yesterday. So this thing is taller than me. So I don't have any excuse when it comes to getting my camera to eye level and taking the shots. And considering its size, it packs down to 51.6 centimeters and weighs 1.27 kilograms, which makes it a very acceptable tripod to carry around in your bag on long walks or your travel. They actually label it as a travel tripod, so yeah, considering how tall it is, considering how many features it has, it's very, very impressive. So right, now let's go into detail about this tripod. Now I mentioned the fluid head earlier on. Let's go into much more detail. The fluid head works for smaller cameras like the Pocket 3. It's counterbalanced. You can actually feel the smoothness of the fluid head. But then when I tried putting my Lumix S9, my fully kitted out Lumix S9 onto it, even taking out the V-mount batteries, even just the camera itself and the cage and the 2470, it just doesn't counterbalance very well. It just, you know, for smooth tilts on heavier cameras, you might find it more challenging, but for framing and everything else, it's certainly strong enough to hold it. So yeah, the fluid head is more suited for smaller cameras. You might get away with something sort of like maybe a Fuji X106 or definitely a GoPro. And yeah, smaller cameras, mirrorless cameras, if you're using a smaller lens, maybe it just doesn't work on mine that well. Now this is a handle. Everyone knows that. But no, it's not a handle. It's a screwdriver. It's a bit driver. You have spare bits over here. Now, the problem with these is that some of them can be really difficult to take out. So yeah, it might be my fingers being too big or something. But honestly, the fact that the handle turns into a screwdriver, it's not ratcheting though, that's asking for too much. It's incredible. So yeah, it's very, very nice to have. When I'm outside in a pinch and when this tripod or any of my other camera gear needs tightening, I just use this all the time. This is very, very useful. All the other companies, please learn from this. Now the plates, the quick release plates, these are the UKA plates. They look very familiar. They look like the f38 plates that Ulanzi or Falcam has. But this UKA head accepts f38 plates. But the UKA plates don't go on to f38 systems, which annoys me a bit, to be honest. I would like to have this UKA plate on my camera. I also have an Ulanzi Coman. I would like to switch tripods sometimes because there are different applications to tripods. So yeah, I just don't understand why. I wish that they made an adapter that makes the UKA plates fit onto the f38 system. I know it's stupid. I know it shouldn't be that way, but yeah, a lot of us, we have the Coman tripods. A lot of us, we have maybe the Ulanzi Falcam tree root tripods, but unfortunately, they're not compatible. And finally, the head isn't removable, which is not surprising for the amount of features that it has. So yeah, you cannot use this tripod, you cannot use the features, you cannot use the tilting center column for different heads, which is okay. I wish that Ulanzi would make a bigger version of this tripod so we can use our own fluid heads, or Ulanzi just come up with a bigger fluid head that is awesome and we'll just all use that in studio. Now that's it about the head. Let's move down to the center column. Like I said, this is the star of the tripod. I'm not going into too much detail, but yeah, as I showed you earlier, this thing goes up, it tilts. There you go. Just lock this and you're capable of moving the center column up and down. Now, you can even remove the bottom bit, remove the thing entirely. You can even attach this upside down for different angles that you need. So yeah, I can't think of an angle that this thing doesn't do. Now, the most amazing thing about this tripod is that you're able to do this. Just attach the camera like so, and all of a sudden, you have some sort of a jib. And I like using this with the Pocket 3 because with a tracking gimbal, it transforms your footage into something repeatable, something that you will need a lot of stabilizers for. It basically will remove my slider, my gimbal. No, not really gimbal, but then a slider. So yeah, I normally don't like gimbals for my larger cameras. I prefer handheld footage, but this thing has made me want to buy a DJI RS4. So yeah, a gimbal to just use the tracking feature with my Lumix S9. But the problem is I suspect that the fluid head isn't strong enough to hold that combo. So yes, again, Ulanzi, please make a bigger version. There, see? Incredible. So this tripod moving down from center column, and the head, the legs, they're made out of carbon fiber. You have these flip switches. Let me lock this up. You have the flip locks, which makes it easy to deploy. Oh, this mechanism is quite nice as well, so you don't have to faff about. All you have to do is to pull down and extend the legs. I mean, splay the legs however much you need. So yeah, it actually goes low to the ground. You have an accessory quarter 20 here, where you can attach maybe a monitor or a light without it twisting, because you have air relocating pins over there. And you have this hook to add your weight or your sandbag to weigh it down. In fact, actually, if you're using this as a jib or as some sort of like a motion controller thingy, I would suggest you weigh it down so the tripod doesn't topple over. Best practice is to weigh it down anyway. So yeah, that's the Ulanzi JJ06 Glide Go tripod. Incredible. I love this tripod. Again, Ulanzi, make us a bigger version. See you in the next one.